Daniel chapter 6, beginning at verse 1, it reads on this wise. It pleased Darius to appoint 120 satraps to rule throughout the kingdom, with 3 administrators over them, one of whom was Daniel. The satraps were made accountable to them so that the king might not suffer loss. Now Daniel so distinguished himself among the administrators and the satraps by his exceptional qualities that the king planned to set him over the whole kingdom. At this, the administrators and the satraps tried to find grounds for charges against Daniel in his conduct of government affairs, but they were unable to do so. Sound familiar? They could find no corruption in him. In other words, they can find no fault, because he was trustworthy and neither corrupt nor negligent. Finally, these men said, "We will never find any basis for charges against this man, Daniel, unless it has something to do with the law of his God." So the administrators and satraps went as a group to the king and said, "King, Darius live forever." The royal administrator, perfect satraps, advisors, and governors all had agreed that the king should issue an indictment and enforce the decree that anyone who prays to any god or human being during the next 30 days except you, your majesty, shall be thrown into the lion's den. Now, your majesty, issue the decree and put it in writing so that it cannot be altered in accordance with the law of the Medes and Persians, which cannot be repealed. So King Darius put the decree in writing. Now, when Daniel learned that the decree had been published, he went home to his upstairs room where the windows were open toward Jerusalem. 3 times a day, he got down on his knees and prayed, giving thanks to his God, just as he had done before. The grass withereth and the flower fadeth, but the word of our God shall stand forever. This morning, what we want to do, we want to give you some tools for a stronger prayer life. Tools for a stronger prayer life. Remember the time when I was going through addiction? I had to attend AA meetings, NA meetings. That's the place where other addicts will come together. You would sit there and hear different addict stories. They would share about their experiences and the things that they have went through. You would find people in those meetings who have been clean anywhere from 5, 10, and 20 years, and have experienced being able to abstain from whatever drug they were addicted to. Someone would ask them the question, "How have you been able to maintain your sobriety for so long?" They would tell them, "Well, I've continued to come to meetings, and I've learned to turn my will over to the power of God." Then they would tell that person, "You can do the same. If I done it, you can do it. But you just can't come to meetings just to meet. Because there's some things called the big book, the NA book. Those are some tools that you can use to stay sober." They would tell them, "If you want to stay clean, you got to work the program." Then they would always have this saying, "It'll work if you work it." If you take the tools that have been given to you, the tools that you've heard, the tools that you have read, you can stay clean and sober. Prayer is the same way. It works if you work it. Prayer is the most undervalued resource of the church and in the lives of people. The Bible teaches us that all blessings that God grants us, he does it through prayer. Prayer is the channel by which the power comes into our lives and our families. In Deuteronomy, the Bible tells us, if my people that are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven. Then I will forgive their sins, and then and only then will I heal their land. You know, we have lights in our homes, but the electrical current that comes into our homes to run our lights, to operate our appliances, has to come from the power grid. Then to the power stations. Then it travels down to the power lines, and then it comes into our homes. Y'all remember a few years ago when the power grid failed? There was many people that had no lights for weeks, for months, because there was an interruption in the circuit. When we have a power outage, that means something has disrupted electricity from getting into our homes. There is some type of disconnect that causes the electrical current from moving as they're supposed to. Prayer is the same way. If you don't spend time with God, it can disrupt him from answering your prayer requests. If you don't spend time reading his word, if you don't spend time communing with him, if you don't spend time coming into his house, it can disrupt the blessings of God. The reason that we lack power and blessings from God that and it's absent from our lives, we have not risen to claim the blessing from the power of God. We've heard the saying, little prayer, little power. Much prayer, much power. But we have to pray in faith, believing that whatever we prayed about, God will answer. He might not answer when you think he needs to answer. He might not answer on the time frame you think he needs to answer, but God will answer. But God has three answers for you sometimes. He got a yes, he's got a no, and he has a not right now. Sometimes we're not ready to receive what God has in store for us. So sometimes God puts it on a delay. He's not saying that he won't answer, he just delays the answer. We have to understand who Daniel was. Daniel was an Israelite captive who had been carried off to Babylon. Probably scholars say somewhere in Daniel's middle school years. God had told Israel that if they were going to be unfaithful to him, he would send them out of the promised land of Israel into exile. After repeated warnings, Israel would not return from her unfaithfulness. So God kept his word to them. Nebuchadnezzar, who was the king at that time, and the armies of Babylon rode into Jerusalem, killing thousands and taking a bunch more as captives and slaves. Daniel probably saw his parents murdered in front of him, and then he was put into a cage and carted off to Babylon. Daniel was selected to be part of a program where some of the best and brightest of all young men in Babylon got to train as interns in the palace. The Babylonians included some of the Israelite captives so they could brainwash them into Babylonian ways and use them as leaders of their people. God blessed Daniel and elevated him above all others. Nebuchadnezzar had captured Judah and taken children from noble families. They took 4 boys. Daniel was one of them. And there was 3, and they took his 3 homeboys, his 3 road dogs. You might know them. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Not the Billy Goat, but Abednego. That was Daniel's homeboys. The king at that time was Belshazzar, who commanded whose interns to eat the Babylonian diet. The diet included food that was forbidden by the law or God for Jews to eat. But here Daniel made up his mind that he would not defile his body with the king's meat. Sometimes you got to make up in your mind there's certain things you just ain't going to do. It's certain lines that you not cross. There are some boundaries that you need to put in place. No matter what everybody else does, you have to set some standards for yourself. They told Daniel that this food would make him smarter and physically fit if he ate the food. They threatened Daniel that if he didn't eat the food, that he would be executed. Daniel was clever. He made a deal with the teacher. He said, well, if I'm going to be tested, choose me 10 foods of their own to see how I am in the next couple of weeks. At the end of 10 days, Daniel was more physical, more healthier, and more stronger than the rest. But then God gave Daniel the ability to interpret dreams. Daniel could tell what was in the books you studied, but he could also tell what was in your head the night before. Darius was the ruler in Babylon after Belshazzar was killed. Darius appointed Daniel one of the 3 leaders because he had an excellent spirit and a good attitude. You know, Daniel was respected. He was thought of very highly in front of the king because the text says they selected, appointed 120 satraps. But here goes Daniel, he was the lieutenant over all of them. You know, everybody's not happy when you get a promotion. Because sometimes the promotion that you have and the position that you have, some people think that's supposed to be their position. And this was the whole point with Daniel. They didn't like the position that Daniel had been put in. Everybody's not happy for you when you get elevated. Because you're going to have them haters. You know about them haters. The one that's talk behind your back. The same one that's trying to stab you in your back, that smile in your face, always trying to take your place. That's, what are they called? That's them backstabbers. So everybody's not happy for you. But what they tried to do, they tried to plot against Daniel because of who he was in his position. I believe they turned over every rock, pulled back every sheet, and still couldn't find no fault in Daniel. They was hoping to find some skeletons in Daniel's closet. Oh, you know how people are. They will try to find something to bring you down. They will try to find something to discredit who you are. Just because you say you're a Christian, they're going to try to find something about you to discredit who you say you are. The world is always looking to discredit the believers. And they will go to every length that they can to try to bring us down. But the officials could not find no fault in Daniel, so they made up some things on Daniel. They brought up some trumped up charges. In other words, in other words of our now president, it was some fake news. The officials appealed to Darius' pride and his desire for a unified kingdom, so They believed that they could show Daniel was doing something to disrupt the kingdom, that Darius would have something against him. The best thing that they could come up with was that Daniel was practicing some illegal religious practices. So they created an ordinance to stroke Darius' ego. They pretended to make him a god for 30 days so that the whole kingdom would pray and make supplications to him and pay his divine order. Don't you know that people will watch you and know what you like, and they will play on those things to make you feel good? People know what you like, and they'll do anything to stroke your ego. But they came together and made up this honor. They knew the people would go along with it, because all you need is just a few people to go along with you. Because all you need is you don't need everybody. If I get enough to believe in me and what I'm trying to do, I'm all good. You know, we go and vote. And you know, they have different ordinances and proposals on the ballot. But you know, we'll go vote. We won't do no research about the candidates. Just because they're black, I'm going to vote for them. But we need to study and do some research. Just because they look like you, just because they talk like you, they don't mean that they are for you. Because there's some of them that look like us, not really for us. Can I get a witness? The decree stated that no man shall pray during the remainder of the month. If they violated this law, they would be cast into the lion's den. Here's a question for you. How many of us would have still prayed, knowing that if you got caught praying, you'd be cast into the lion's den? How many in you in here today would still pray, know that you would be put in jail if you got caught praying? That's a good question. And you don't have to answer to me. You have to answer that to God. Prayer is the same. You spend time with God, God will answer your prayer. Dr. John Wesley said that God does nothing on earth except in answer to prayer. That means God releases his power on earth is through prayer. Prayer is the way we hold hold of the promises and blessings of God and make them our own. The Bible is full of promises. There are 3,000 promises in the Bible. But there are some tools that we need to use to strengthen our prayer life. We need to be dedicated in our prayer life. Daniel's daily custom was to pray to God daily at home. Prayer was the primary source of Daniel's strength. He met with God at the same place at the same time every day. Daniel did not change his routine because of what was going on. He didn't let what people thought or what people say stop him doing from what he was accustomed to. We can't allow people to change our mind, change our routines, just because to go along with the crowd. Sometimes you got to go against the crowd. You got to do what you've been doing. You got to do what's right within your heart. You got to do what's right in the eyesight of God. Just because everybody else is doing it don't mean you have to do it. Daniel knew that God was on his side, so he was not worried about what was going to happen. He believed that God would protect him in every way. We ought not be willing to change for nobody. It should be no matter what they say or what we do, we ought to be devoted to God. God shows his devotions toward us every day. Doesn't he? He woke you up this morning. That's his devotion to you. We got clothes on our backs. We got a roof over our head. We got nice cars to drive. We got food on our table. We got a job to go to. He shows his devotion to us each and every day. But where is our devotion to him? The text said that Daniel went home. That is where Daniel would meet God every day. That should let us know something. You don't have to wait till you get to church to pray. God can hear you just as good as home as he does here at the church. Oh, but no, sometimes we want to show how good we can pray. Sometimes we want to show how fancy we can pray. But you need to have a place at home where you can go and pray. Prayer is effective wherever you go. You can pray on your job. You can pray in your car. You can pray at Walmart. You can pray in the mall. You can pray in the restaurant. You can pray at Papa Do's. Wherever you go, you can pray. And guess what? God will hear you wherever you are. You remember when Jesus told his disciples, when it comes to prayer, don't be like the Pharisees. Don't wait till you get out in public on the corners, praying so everyone can see, trying to impress people, because that's nothing but a show. But he said, but when you pray, go into your secret closet and go to God in private and do that. You will ask God in private, but he will open you publicly. I don't know where your secret closet is. It might be your garage. It might be in the shower. It might be in your bathroom. It might be in your bedroom. It might be in your kitchen. But everybody should have a secret closet where you go and commune and fellowship with God. Daniel did not try to go and hide from those that was trying to find fault in him. You know, if somebody want to find you, they can find you. And sometimes we don't want to be found, we can't be found. But because of Daniel's faith in God, he didn't try to hide. I believe in my spiritual mind that he told him, if y'all looking for me, I'll be at my house. He wasn't trying to go around or escape from being seen. A lot of times we don't want to be seen walking into the church. Sometimes we don't want to be seen and recognized praying. Sometimes we don't want to be seen doing the right thing. A lot of times you want people to remember you like they knew you were before. Sometimes you don't want people to recognize that God has made a change in your life. Sometimes you don't want to tell people, I don't go over there no more. So you don't want to tell somebody, I don't drink that no more. You don't want to tell somebody, I don't act like that no more. You don't want to tell somebody, I don't cuss like that no more. I don't cuss as much. But we always want to use that expression, I'm still under construction. When the construction going to be finished? I don't know about you, but I've been riding on 45 for 50 years, and they're still doing construction on 45. But sooner or later, some things should have changed in your life. You must continue to thank God, even when the outcome might not be in your favor. We know that what we're praying for, we know what we have asked God for, but we still have to trust God that he will see us through. Daniel knew that the 30-day law, and he knew what the results was if he violated that law, but Daniel did not let that law stop him from praying. He didn't do any more praying or less praying. He just continued his constant prayer. We got to be consistent when it comes to praying. We got to be consistent when it comes to talking to God. Because the more you talk to God, the closer you get to God. Sometimes we can't get a prayer to God because we haven't established that relationship to get close enough to God. Daniel didn't try to be a man pleaser. You know, a lot of times we want to please other folks. We want to please other folks. We want everybody to like us. You know, everybody likes to be liked. Everybody want to be a part of a clique. Everybody want to be a part of a group. But sometimes you got to separate yourself and not be like everybody else. But Daniel wasn't worried about pleasing men. He was worried about pleasing God. But if we really say we trust God and we love God, we will obey God. Because he is still in control of everything. Sometimes you got to be willing to be the minority. Sometimes you got to be willing to be the minority. Third time is a charm. Sometimes you got to be willing to be the minority. You know, we as black people, we have always been looked at as the minority. But if you believe in Christ, you ought to be in the majority. Not only do you need to be devoted, you need to be devoted in your prayer life. The text says that Daniel went down on his knees 3 times a day to pray to God. We must realize when Daniel was taken captive, he was about 16 years old. And nowhere at this time did Daniel understand what he was going through. But right here in this text, Daniel was about 80 years old in this text. You know, the older you get, you don't move like you used to. There's certain things that you used to do. You can't do it no longer. Your vision gets dimmer. Your steps get shorter. Your hair gets less. You start having more aches and pains. Things we used to do, we can't do no more. But some things we used to do, we try to do and find out it just don't work. But Daniel did not let his age limit him from doing what he had been doing. He did not let limitations stop him from continuing something he had been doing for years. Daniel either could have made an excuse. My knees are hurting. I got this arthritis is killing me today. But Daniel still got down on his knees and prayed. It doesn't matter how old you are or what you've been through or how feeble you might get. God will still give you strength, even in the midst of your feebleness. During this period of time to pray was at 9 o'clock in the morning, 12 noon, and 3 o'clock. I believe he needed one for the Father, one for the Son, and one for the Holy Ghost. A lot of times we don't want to take down time to surrender ourselves and prostrate before the Lord. Sometimes we just need to humble ourselves before God. Sometimes we're in the wrong posture. That's why God don't hear us. Sometimes we're in the wrong posture. God does not answer our prayers. Sometimes we're in the wrong posture, in the wrong location for God to really hear us. A lot of times we don't want to humble ourselves. If you really want God to bless you, you got to humble yourself. How many times have you not prayed? Prayer should be a daily thing. It shouldn't something be every now and then when you're going through some problem, when you have some situations in your life. But you should be praying when things are going good. But a lot of times we don't start praying until things are happening in our lives, until our back is against the wall, until we're in some circumstances we don't know how we're going to get out of. That's when we want to pray. That's when we want to call on the name of, Lord, if you get me out of this, I promise you I won't do it again. Lord, if you just set me free, I promise you I'll do better. But then a lot of people said, I would come to the church, but I'm trying to get my life right. Well, they'll never come to the church because they can't never get it right. God is the only one that can help you get your life right. Sometimes we get too relaxed and comfortable and believe that God, we don't have to continue to do what we used to do. You know, after God has provided for us and made a way for us, we feel like we're in good shape. We feel like we don't have to continue to doing and praying and asking God and thanking God for what he has done. A lot of times we forget God, but God never forgets us. He still blesses us in spite of. He still provides for us in spite of. He still makes a way for us in spite of. Even when we're unfaithful, God is still faithful.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Daniel did not try to hide his devotion or his dependence on God. The text says that the window was open. Daniel did not care who saw him praying. Even though he knew the dangers that was getting ready to encounter, Daniel was not dependent on his own strength, but he was dependent on God. Now, if that had been some of us, we would have closed the windows, pulled down the blinds, closed the curtains, put some aluminum foil up there to make sure nobody seen us. But Daniel trusted God. He didn't care who seen him. He knew that God would see him through. Daniel did not look for someone else to help. Daniel did not run to his friends. He did not run to his family, but he turned to the one that had all power. A lot of times we run to the wrong people. We seek other people's advice. Other people's suggestions. They just as bad a shape as you are. They going through some stuff and you going through some stuff and you looking for help from them. They need some help from themselves. You don't need nobody but God. This is a word for someone today. There's strength. No matter what you're going through, you can draw strength from the Word of God. I don't care what you're going through. This right here, this will give you strength. You ain't got to go work out. You ain't got to do no push-ups. You ain't got to use no dumbbells. But if you want strength to help you through some situations, his word is all you need. The word will give you strength when you get weak. The word will pick you up when you get knocked down. The word will pick up your bowed down head. The word will drive the tears from your eyes. The word will relieve you of your heavy burdens. The word is all you need. You shouldn't wait till you're going through something to pray to God. The more we committed to prayer, the more we will be able to sustain when trouble comes. Because I'm going to tell you, trouble going to come. Long as you're living, long as you're black, trouble gonna come. A lot of times we're thinking that we're in good shape, things are going fine, but that's when you need to start looking and worrying. Because it's always quiet before the storm. We need to pray to God and ask him for help in what we're going through. When we're sad, we need to pray. When we're glad, we need to pray. If you're sad, God will give you joy. Even in the midst of sorrow. If you're going through a situation and you have lost your job, God will open another door that no man can close. Daniel kept praying because he knew he trusted God. I don't care what you're going through today. I just want to encourage you, keep praying. Keep trusting God. Don't let go. Because I don't know about you, but he has never failed me yet. For the word of God said, I've never seen the righteous forsaken. And I've never seen his seed beg for bread. So whatever you're going through, God will answer your prayer. Prayer is the key. Faith unlocks the door. If you really want to trust God, if you really want to see God work, go down on your knees and ask God. If you want to see God make a way from you, if you want to see God open some doors from you, pray and ask God. God is a way maker. God is a healer. God is a provider. All you got to do is just call on his name. I don't know about you, but every morning I get up, I try to spend some time with God. Every morning I get up, I pray to God. Every morning I get up, I thank God for waking me up this morning. Every morning I get up, I thank God for allowing me to see another day. But as I go through the day, I'm still thanking God because I know it was nobody but him that helped me make it through the day. I know it was nobody but him that gave me the job to go to. I know it was nobody but him that made a way when I couldn't find no way. He made a way for me when I couldn't even know myself. He made a way for me when I was back down at my lowest point in life. God made a way. God will make a way for you just like he did for me. I believe prayer that Daniel prayed was Psalm 23. Though I walk through the valley of the shadows of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. I think another prayer that he prayed, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Whom shall I be afraid? We all should have a prayer that we can call on, even in the midnight hour. No matter what you're going through, call on the Lord. He will answer your prayer. He will answer your call. No matter how bad it may seem, just call on the name of the Lord. It's power in that name. It's joy in that name. It's strength in that name. It's peace in that name. It's power in the name of Jesus. Trouble was right outside your door. But God is on the inside. I don't know what you're going through this morning. I don't know what you've been praying for. Prayer works. Prayer works. Ask somebody that's been fighting some health battles. They'll tell you prayer works. Find somebody that done lost a job. They'll tell you that prayer works. Find somebody that's gone through some relationship problems and God mended that relationship. Prayer works. Ask somebody that has lost some weight with children. They'll tell you prayer works. Murray Brown Clark said it best. I know the odds look stacked against you. And it seems there's no way out. I know the issues seem unchangeable. And there's no reason to shout. But the impossible is God's chance to work a miracle It ain't over until God said it's over. It ain't over until God said it's done. Just keep on praying. Just keep on asking God. Just keep on praying no matter what you're going through. I want to encourage you today. I'm here today because of prayer. You're here today because of prayer. Grandmama's prayer got you here today. Mama's prayers got you here today. Auntie's prayers got you here today. Church members' prayers got you here today. You didn't get here by yourself, but it was the prayers of the righteous that avail as much. That's got us here right here today. And because of his prayers, we have found a new life through Jesus Christ.